Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio for this week's very special episode of Tutorial Tuesday, my winter holiday special. Thanks for joining me here in my studio for Tutorial Tuesday number 29. Let's jump right into it. Be sure to check the description below for a palette list, and we'll jump right up to the canvas. I have my standard 18 by 24 inch canvas. It's already prepped with a very thin, even coat of liquid white. Now I do want to mention down below in the palette, which you will see now, there it is. We have a thick titanium white and then a thin titanium white. So the thin one is just titanium white from the tube mixed with a very thin amount of the liquid white just to kind of thin it out. And I just wanted to have two different textures of this today since we're going to be doing some snow a little bit towards the end. It'll just help us out to have it already pre-done. So to get us going with our beautiful little sunset, I'm going to go right into the Indian yellow in my 1-inch brush. I want to pick up a little bit of titanium white. We'll make it just a touch brighter. And we're going to start kind of where the sun is going to be setting right at the horizon. And I just want to pick that out. And this is going to kind of just fade out. Some nice golds up here. And then we'll soften as we move away. Less and less pressure. I do want to mention I have a heater going in the background today, so don't get mad at the sound. It's nice and cozy in here, so we're painting a nice cozy winter scene. Hopefully it's not too bad. I do have a mic on, so anyway. I just dipped into my orange mixture, which is like 2 parts Indian yellow, 1/2 part bright red. It's just kind of like a peach color. Also, you can mix that up just by tapping into your bright red and Indian yellow. But I just really wanted to have it pre-mixed just to make it easier since we're going to be using it throughout the painting. That way we can kind of make sure that it's always going to be the same. Now I'm just going to get a little bit more of this peach color and pick out a little spot down here where some of the brighter colors are going to be reflecting. We're going to have like a little tree out here that has some lights on it. How fun, huh? I think it'll be cute. Now I'm going to go into, let's see, some bright red and just a touch of alizarin crimson. Some more crimson, I think. And I'm going to grab just a little bit of titanium white. I don't want this to be like a super strong color. And now I'm just kind of being really picky, I guess, about the color, but we'll just go with this because we're going to blend it with the liquid white that's already on the canvas. I started over here because I knew I had a good amount on the brush, and I know that this is going to be the darker area. The sun is going to be right over here, kind of coming across some distant hills, then we'll have some closer hills and our feature points of the painting. So anyway, darker point out on this end, and then once you get a little bit of that paint off the brush and you know, okay, now it's not a whole bunch of that bright color, and we'll come over here and just allow those two to soften together. come back down here and just keep softening. And we're going to get a little bit more crimson. Let's grab some more titanium white still, just kind of pink it in a little bit, not too much. A little bit more paint, still starting on this side once we reload. Just straight titanium white over here. And it's just going to blend with what we've got up here. All right, I need to wipe this off. There's still a bit of Indian yellow on that brush, and you kind of wanted to get rid of some more of that. So I'm just going to wipe that out, and then we'll come back here and just blend this. Just distribute some of this paint. If you want to keep some of these lines to be darker, you don't have to blend it as aggressively, but I'm just trying to have this softened a little bit more. So it's getting a little tough on the canvas there. All right. I wasn't sure if I was going to need Phthalo Green, but I've decided that I think it would be helpful here, so I'm going to get some out. And we'll see how it does for us. I'm going to pick up one of my bigger sable brushes and go into some titanium white. Get that in the brush. We'll pick up some Phthalo Green, just a touch of Alizarin Crimson, we're looking for a gray, and that's probably not enough paint, but we will see how far it gets us. Let's just work this in up here. I'm going to mix up a little bit more. Just keep working with this. Work it into the canvas. We're gonna have some clouds up here. And let's see about, we'll go with a little bit more of that green. Just sneak it right in there. Let's just grab some of this, pick up some Phthalo Blue, get that all in the brush. And we'll just incorporate some of this color down below so that we're not missing out. Leave some space here so we can get a little bit of misty action though. Just get some of this down where it's nice and dark in the corners. We want some over in this corner, just something like that. And we'll bring this up. All right, now we're going to pick up some Phthalo Blue. Some Phthalo Blue. Just up in the corner a little bit here. Some can be clouds, but maybe there's a few spots where we can see through the clouds. And we'll just have some of this peeking through. Just lightly bring it down. And let's get some of this. Be sure to grab some of your other colors too, but more of the blue. And we're just gonna bring a little bit of that in here. Just a little bit more shadow and depth into these edges. Kind of just brings it all together. Now, we're gonna do some blending. Bring some of this gold. It's still on the canvas. I'll just soften this all, kind of distribute some. Having a battle with my canvas. I spray them to tighten the back, but sometimes it's still not enough. Now that I've kind of finished the gold area to the point where I like it, I'm going to move up into this gray. It might be wise to clean out your brush before moving up here, but I didn't, so we'll see how it works. The Phthalo Green and Crimson make a really unique gray that kind of just helps to gray everything out if that's what you need. But also it's just it's a really pretty color. I really like it. I think will work well when we're all done with this little winter scene, kind of keeping it kind of warm, kind of cold, you know, we'll have a nice little feeling. Let's just kind of even some of this up here. Okay, let's just clean up some of this bottom. Just soften it all, bring it together. Don't matter. All right. Now I think I'm gonna pick up a fan brush and I'm going to make a little bit of some clouds here, and we'll get some titanium white and we're gonna mix up kind of a gray, Alizarin Crimson and Phthalo Green, and just a touch of our blue, just a touch. And we'll just pick out where these clouds live. I just want some kind of flat ones down here, because those exist. Something like that. And then we'll build these a little bit as we move kind of away from the horizon. Maybe we've got a couple up here that are kind of getting just a touch bigger. Just a little bit there. Just getting looser and looser as we kind of move up in the canvas. And we'll just keep growing these clouds, kind of. And you don't have to put any clouds if you don't want to. I just kind of think it really helps. There's fresh snow on the ground and this beautiful sunset. Maybe it had been stormy for most of the day, and now the sun is finally coming out, and those moments are quite special, especially when it's been snowing, and the way that the fresh snow looks with the sun is just purples and peaches. It's pretty awesome. So we're just using our colors here to kind of get the right mood. A little bit more titanium white. We're just gonna kind of roll in here. Right, I'm gonna wipe off that same fan brush. Just get some of the excess paint off. And I'm gonna use that brush to soften some of this and just pick out a few areas that I might want to work on a little more with a bigger brush. But this fan brush works really well to just move some paint around. And when you want to keep some of the texture. Some days you want a really soft painting, some days you want maybe something in the middle that's soft and has some bold points or whatever. I don't really know what this is going to turn into just yet, but we're going to find out. This is my dirty blending brush. I'm going to wipe it out. Just get some of that blue off, kind of the grays. And we're just going to soften these by tapping on them. Up here, we'll just kind of give them some movement. I'll wipe off that brush again. I just kind of wiped off the brush and we're moving along here. Just softening and picking out a few clouds that are just kind of living in this big cloud up here, some layers and stuff. You can kind of start planning that out. Kind of give these a little bit of a lift. And then we'll go kind of straight across. Nice. Get a little bit of that paint off the brush. We're going to go right into the titanium white here. And into our gold. Why not? And we'll just give these out here just some tiny little bits, maybe highlights out here. Wipe that off, get all the yellow out. Titanium white. Crimson and bright red, just a touch of crimson, kind of like a pink. We'll get that kind of color there and it just turns into a little bit of a muddy lavender. I think I want it just a touch darker. Get some of that. Yeah, that's nice. Get some more. Maybe out here. A little bit more red. Right here. little bit of our soft white now. Let's blend that. I'm going to pick up a new blending brush. I want this to look nice. So just double check sees that. We'll start, yes. We'll just start with this yellow here. Tap that. If you're new to this channel and you don't know, I make my own brush wash, and sometimes I just am a little bit more choosy about the messes that I want to make because it does take a little bit more time to clean up, but I'm not using any paint thinner. So check my channel. I'll try and put a link maybe like right here, maybe, if I remember. That'd be cool. Okay, click on that link and it'll show you my brush wash. I have some right here. This is what I use. It's really dirty, so this is what I use for the last painting that I cleaned up, and I just use this during the next painting if I need to thin anything out. But I generally don't go and clean all of my brushes like the popular painter used to do while he was painting all the time. A couple of them did that. I just don't. I use rags, and maybe it's more wasteful, but it makes my lungs happier. So you do what you want. I just wanted to let you know. Sometimes I really do get picky about, like, this is a nice and clean brush and I didn't want to get this yellow up here and make it turn green. But we're really careful, and you just kind of wipe it off. Before you get into the next bit. Just kind of blending these back. Trying to knock everything over. Okay. Now, let's do this. Kind of pull down. And we'll go straight across here and then kind of come down from the corner for this big cloud. Let's bring some of this a little more softness. Okay, fun. Let's get into this next little spot. I'm going to pick up the sable brush again. I think it'll work out. Alizarin Crimson, Phthalo Green, Phthalo Blue. We're looking for a bluish lavender. Titanium white. A little bit more crimson, but not too much. And just over here, we're going to have a little foothill. And another one. a little bit bigger here. Very lightly with our dirtier blending brush, whichever one is dirtier, doesn't matter, just pick that one up. Very carefully, just soften the blue. We don't want to turn it like super green. We just want to soften this foothill out here, just at the base. Clean out the brush just a touch and lift, not too much, just to get out the brush strokes, the tap marks at the bottom. Pick up the brush again. A little darker now. We need some, let's pick up some midnight black. Just kind of warm this color up a touch. A little bit more midnight black. Just tap down any old shape. Pick up some more paint on that. And we'll just bring this one back up here, something like that. Blending brush. Lift up. All right, last layer, we're going to use the fan brush. Wipe off the brush. Let's mix up a nice dark color. All of our darks. Alizarin Crimson, Phthalo Blue, Phthalo Green, Midnight Black. A little bit more Phthalo Blue. Just wiggling my brush into the thick paint that we just mixed up, so it'll load into a nice little fine point. And we're going to put in another. This one's a bit closer. Just tap and pull down slightly to put in another little foothill. This one's a bit closer. gonna make its way just going to bring this basically all the way over and just kind of down this side, sort of. And we'll bring in some of this down below. Then let's pick up a little bit of our thin white mixed, so we have kind of like a bluish white. There we go. And we'll put in just a few sticks and stumps and logs up here. Then we will take our blending brush and blend that out. Lift up. And then we'll just get rid of some of that extra paint. Okay, let's pick up our fan brush one more time. Probably not, we'll probably use it more than this. And we'll put in just a nice little pine tree here. I'm gonna push up with my bristles. But you can do whatever you want. got a really nice old brush here that just does this so nicely and gets a lot of fun variety in the branches. Kind of losing through that dark bit there, but that's all right. Let's really fill them in through the middle. We'll see about where the bottom of that one ends up being. Mix up a little bit more of my dark mixture. Just grab all of those darks that we have left. Give it a good spin over the knife. And we'll put in another one. Ooh, maybe right there. Let's go ahead and put in a few little shrubs over here. We'll kind of pull some of this add in some little sticks and twigs maybe here and there, and let's, with our dark sienna, just grab a touch of that with some titanium white. Kind of allow it to be a little marbled, and we'll put in just a couple little ideas of our tree stumps out here. Maybe we'll pull out a couple branches too. Let's just punch in a couple trees over here, just kind of hanging out in the background. And then we'll just bring this together, and we'll kind of lay out our snow just a little. These little bits will be kind of the nice little shadows, hopefully. Okay, I'll wipe off that brush. We're going to get two fan brushes going. One is going to be this dirty one. We're going to use our thin titanium white and go right into some of our blues. These are going to be the shadowy snow on our trees. So let's just pop in maybe a little darker for these ones. They're kind of more in the background. We still want to give them their snow. Just kind of plop that in. And we'll even add a little bit down there. Put that brush aside and we'll pick up a new brush. We'll go into this white and we're going to make our peach color. Indian yellow and bright red. I do want just a touch of crimson in there. Hopefully I got some there. There we go. Then we'll just thin it down. If you need to use liquid white, you can definitely do that as well. These ones we'll just put on a little bit of our highlights, kind of just down the tops here. Ooh, we're turning that green, aren't we? Just about there, maybe. Wipe that off a bit. We're definitely picking up a lot of that other color, so I'm just wiped off that. Let's pull out just a touch of snow. Go right into our white, and I want to get some of our yellow, or our lavender kind of here. Peach lavender. Oh, let us not forget, right over here, we're just going to put on a little bit of snow to this trees out here. They're just kind of in the shadows. And we'll pull some of our color on through here. Not too much, let's leave that for now. Back with our pink, let's just grab a little bit and pull this right out. A little more. Keep grabbing some red, maybe some of that gold, but just more red than anything. We can use some crimson in it too. Maybe we'll leave it like this for now. And I'm going to pick up my fan brush and just kind of clean up some of these edges here with some freshly snowed on bushes. Just kind of come right down and over that. And then you just kind of pull it out. And it's just like painting water sometimes. You can just kind of move it around. Okay, let's leave that for right now. We are going to build a house. We need some dark colors, more crimson. We're going to use our dark sienna, midnight black. A little bit of phthalo blue. First, with our knife, let's grab some crimson, dark sienna, and midnight black. We'll just mix this together. Next, this is the scary part. Next, we're going to pick out where the house is going to sit, and I think I'm going to use my brush for just a second so that I can get this in the right spot, because I kind of want this house to be like right above, out this way. Let's bring this hill up just a touch. Something like that, just for a second. And we will plop this all in. Okay, now that we have a general idea, which is just smart to do, I really enjoy painting cabins, but they're definitely not my strong suit. So be nice. Scraping this out. Okay, bear with me. We will still do, I think Bob would call it a cabinectomy, where we kind of cut off the bottom of it. We'll do that. But let's just get the broad strokes of this thing in here. I'm pulling in some nice dark brown mixture. Put in our little roof. Now let's just grab some of this brown, mix it with a little blue and midnight black. And we will start with this. And then we will come across the top. We are going to put snow on the top, so I don't want to get it too dark. So let's just leave that for right now. Let's put in a nice dark roof here. And now we're going to add a little bit of highlight. Let's get a marbled dark sienna with some red. And we're going to put in some logs, kind of along the same line. We'll just pick out this section. Let's try. And we'll just pick out a few logs. I want that a little darker. Let's put some midnight black in it. And we'll just keep plopping in some wood, like a log cabin. Let's do the same thing all the way down. Now on the back side, titanium white, some of our dark mixture and dark sienna. And we'll do something similar. We want to get our lines right here. Let's grab a good bit of midnight black and we'll just kind of come through in between here and add a little bit more dark in some of these areas. And then on the front, let's just add in a little bit of detailing. Kind of help bring some of this together. Now we will use our dark mixture and we'll put in a couple windows. We'll just kind of go right over what we have, scrape some out, and then you go right over it. Out over here, we're going to put window, scrape some out, get your dark, give it a ledge. Let's do a couple more windows. And then let's put a door in. A nice big one. All right, pick up your dark. And we want to line all of our doorways. Use both sides of the knife to put in just a nice little dark bit. Next, let's pick up a small sable brush, one that might fit into this window. And we'll just soften that. I wanted to make these windows glow, so we're going to give that a try. Now, I'm sure you can see where I was going with this cabinectomy, something like that. We'll figure the rest out. Just to get our minds back in the game here. With the windows, this might be a little tricky. Let's try some. Actually, I want a thick. We need a thick titanium white. Thick titanium white. Get that on the brush. And we're going to grab some of our peach orange color. Let's just see what that does for us. Not bad. I'm going to wipe that off because we probably picked up some gunk. Nice thick peach. Wipe off what you picked up back into our mixture. Let's get this one, get a little bit, kind of like if there's some windows in the door on the top. Now, let's let that sit for, oh, idea. Let's go back into your titanium white, get some Indian yellow. Let's see if we can layer some of this nice bright paint in there. I kind of want it to have a little bit of texture, like it's just hitting on that glass, and maybe there's steam, or like if they were cooking and the family's together and they have a fire going, and all of this light is just reflecting off of from inside and out, and then the tree outside that's also lighting everything. That's going to be reflecting some fun lights back into the windows. So we'll just use our imagination, and we can come back and always put in more. It's a little easier for me when I see the picture in my head versus you all when you're kind of just left here guessing, like, what's she gonna do next? Just get some of that color to really work in. Get on all of the windows nice and bright over the top. And I do think we're going to come back and put more in still, don't worry. It's nice and thick, so it should stick on there good. Well, it should stick on there well. Right, now we're going to build on this just a little bit. We talked earlier about there being fresh snow. So let's pick up some titanium white, our nice thick titanium white, and go right over here. We want just a nice and bright color. We'll get some of that on the edge of the knife. And we're going to, I just think it needs to be so much brighter than that. Let's go right into it. Get right into this gold. And we're just going to plop it right on the top. It's like snow reflecting off of that light, reflecting off of the snow that has caught on the ledge of the house, right where we have our windowsills. And they're reflecting all of the light from inside. Isn't that cute? And it's snowy. Maybe over here. Well, we still have yellow inside, so we need that on this. Highlight that right there. And then we'll put in a few on the edge. Some good lines. Nice and bright. Now let's do just a few little ideas of some like window panes. Those are also going to have just a touch of snow. Pick up some of your thin white. Alright, now we need a little door on this house. Let's do some red into our dark mixture here. And we'll just tap very carefully. Pull some of this down into kind of a cute barn house, but a house door. And we'll grab some snow. A touch of highlight. And we'll have some wood. Now, in these windows, I really want to kind of make them sparkle. So we're going to grab some of our bright peach color and we'll just put in a few spots of some lights that are going to be up here, just kind of hanging out around the windows. And we'll have some just kind of hanging out over here. We grab some of our Indian yellow now, and we just kind of Push that into the red. And some white. Now, we will grab a little bit of our yellow and we're going to highlight a few more of these logs where we have a lot of this bright. Lights happening. Fun, huh? Now, time for the roof. We want snow. We want it bluish on this side, kind of dark, but nice and thick. Nice and thick. And we'll start back here. And we'll just pull out our ledge of snow on the roof. Let's just fix her up here, pulling this nice and heavy snow down, and we'll kind of cap off this back area here and just make it look nice and neat. Got a nice shadow snowy area there. And we need some highlight because we have our lights kind of reflecting here. We'll put a little bit of light just right in under here. And then our snow right on top. Really thick here, and I'm going to pull down some icicles. This is kind of my thinner mixture here, and you just plop it on, and that paint starts to stick out onto the canvas, and you get it to stick out in strings. And then you pull those down. Icicles. It's cold. And just a touch more of this bright pop of snow just right on top there. We need to put a little chimney on this house because something's got to keep them warm up here. Put a little chimney in. Kind of just get a little of that dirt down in there. We'll maybe highlight it a little bit. It's kind of a tall chimney stack, huh? titanium white. Let's do a little bit of a lavender, just a little grayish. And it's got the smokes. Gotta stay warm. Cute. I like it. Let's add some more color into these windows. I think they need something. I'm gonna add like Indian yellow and our peach into like a really bright pop of a color and just drag some of that down. Get some in the window. Maybe just kind of tap it a little bit, like you can see the fire reflecting and stuff in there. I don't know, maybe like that. Very nice, very cold. Now we need to pull out just a couple of these icicles to be nice and long. Something like that, I like it. Put a little bit of snow on some areas like that, and then fan brush, fan brush, fan brush. Mix up some dark, whatever, blue, black, kind of a lavender color would be good. Midnight black. We have some of our brown over here. And we'll just put in a nice little, kind of some shrubs over here. Maybe something right there. Liquid white. Oh, this is my medium texture white. You can use that if you still have some left. I do want a little bit of gold in here, and we're just going to highlight this snow that it's reflecting from the house. Then we'll use our brush that we were using before, and we'll just pull some of this out. Let's get some more titanium white. Just kind of adding in a few mounds of highlight and shadows, just throwing in some snow here and there. And just get some ideas. And then we're going to come in and put in a nice big old tree. Any medium texture paint. Right out here in the middle. This one is our celebration tree. Little holiday tree, whatever you celebrate. This is a nice little area. I think if you lived out here during the winter or you were spending the cold days, the long dark nights, having a little tree out here might be nice. All right. I was getting hungry. Okay, I'm going to fill in this tree here. We need to add kind of some lowlights and highlights, but basically this is all going to be like it's going to be lit, but we also need to put snow on. So first we're going to do a nice gray titanium white. A little bit too much gray on there. And we'll just start with this. Just to get us going with the snow. Some good texture. Okie dokie. Wipe all that off. Wiped off. Now, we're going to start with pink. Pink. Get some liquid white. A little bit more of our orange now. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I got a little carried away. Just a little bit. Now, don't go away yet. We're still working through this. Let's get our nice bright orange down here, reflecting in the snow. All the way back here, just like we said. Have that in there before. We just add it right back in. A little bit more red in it. Just a touch of that. Now, let's pick up some nice and bright, good texture on that. And we're just going to even brighter. Just get that we'll see. Maybe lights. These are the lights. We're just gonna start. Just get a little bit, play around, get a little bit of an idea. Where this light is going to be singing through. Kind of in and down this tree. Now that we have that, just have so many messes of paint, which just happens. And we'll pick out a few. Paint everywhere. First things first, I need a little bit more of this sunshine. We're just going to add a little bit more pop of color kind of around this now. can kind of take a step back and just see how, you know, this all kind of is bouncing around. If you go back here and look, you just start to see it. Okay, now let's try with our little sable brush. I like the ends of these. We'll come in and just pick out a few. And we're going to just start erasing small areas where it's nice and bright, and we're going to put in some kind of more detailed lights. And this part is just kind of the most tedious part of it. You could use your finger, but they usually end up being too big for me because I can't quite get to this delicate. But it does help to have a nice fresh spot on your towel when you're getting the large amounts of the paint off. Okay, now we've pulled off some of the top layers just very simply where we were going to put in a few little lights. And before I forget, I just noticed I never really put any bit of secondary color out on this smokestack here. We'll just add a little bit of color here and there to kind of bring that to life. That'll do. Now, sable brush, bright orange, and we're going to use this on all of these bulbs. trying to figure the easiest way to do it. I don't know yet. But this seems to work. You're going to have to clean off the brush because we're going to pick up some blue. It's okay. That's why we made so much of this paint. That one got a little carried away. Okay, now let's get our next color. I'm going to use some titanium. Uh-oh. I fixed it. Titanium white. Thick titanium white with our Indian yellow now. This circle is a little smaller now, kind of on the inside. And we'll just work our way through these, giving them all their next layer. Okay, now our brightest color. Just a touch of Indian yellow, and we might need to thin it down. Let's add just a touch of bright red. And just a touch of that. We'll just pop that right in the middle. Now, just a few little finishing touches. We'll just take the script liner, dip it into some liquid white, and then into our bright yellow mixture. And on some of the bigger ones, we'll just do a nice little semicircle on this. Maybe on some of these. Just really give them that shape because of the colors and our gradients. They'll look like little glowing light bulbs. Next, we'll do just a touch of kind of cleanup or little detail work on some of these, and just put in a little bit of a thing that connects them. Just pull it down from our maybe connect them with a few strands just to kind of give a little bit more of the effect. Then I think we'll come back with just a touch of these colors, nice and bright, like good variety of all of them. Just get it all kind of messy in the brush there. And we'll just tap on a few more bright areas that just need a little pop because of the light bulbs. Fun, huh? Now we will clean up the bottom. Let's just give this a little shape. And I think we need to have just a little bit of light out here, kind of leading us in towards the tree a little bit. We'll do a little bit of highlight on this bush there. Clean out the bottom of that one. Maybe we've got a little bit of these lights just kind of bouncing off of the snow over here on some of these, just like these trees up here. Let's even give those a little bit more of a pop just on a little bit here, like they're really getting just a little bit there. Isn't that fun? Oh, I love this. I really want to have some like red and crimson in here. Maybe this color will work. just want a little bit of this as my kind of some of these back areas of, I'll have, you know, some little footsteps or some mounds, just the way the snow kind of just lays over all of this. So much movement, all the movement. And we'll have some pink. Find my big sable brush and I'm gonna go right into this thick titanium white, and we will kind of finish this off here by just dragging in some stuff in between and bring in some snow. Nice and good, fresh snow. Maybe some fresh snow out here. A few little mounds. Isn't that fun? Oh, I like this. I haven't done anything like this before, and I really like it. It's super fun. Having a lot of fun playing with these colors because they're just totally going to be out here reflecting and bouncing off all the snow. But I don't want to get too carried away. Just wanted to work in a tiny bit more of that down that mound. Let's take our 2-inch brush, nice and clean one. Just soften that out a touch. And right over the top, we will just kind of build this hill right here in front. There. All right, I want just a touch of this bright gold. Just kind of popping on some of these icicles here. Tricky there, tricky there. Wow, How fun! I love this just the way it is. I don't really want to do much more. I think it's just so simple and fun. Let's see about, just double check over here. Let's put in a few details, but not too much. Maybe just scrape in a few sticks and twigs over here where they're gonna be. And something like that. Signature, and I'm done. Liquid white, and we'll go right into this peachy red. And we'll see if we do a tutorial Tuesday for New Year's Eve. That would be the last painting of 2024, unless I do something. I wouldn't, but I think probably only 1 or 2 paintings to go with our 2024, or mine. This is how I sign it. Signature. I really like to keep track of, you know, the paintings in some way, and I paint a lot. So by dating the year, it kind of helps me know where I was at. Love it. This was so cool. So much fun. Okay. All right. I'd like to thank you all for joining me here today for my holiday special. Tutorial Tuesday number 29. A wonderful little cabin scene with a nice lit tree. If you wanted to do some more ornaments on the tree, that would be super fun. Send me a picture, Kaylee at KayleeRakowski.com. I'd love to hear how you liked this painting in the comments below. Be sure to comment where you're at, where you're watching this, and what you loved about this painting. Thank you so much for joining me. Smile and be happy, friends.